Hey guys, welcome back to Origami Twist. My name's Jen, and in today's video we're going to do a craft room tour in my dining room. This is our dining room, guys. We are going to be selling our house soon, and as a result I have had to, well, I felt compelled to make my craft room a little less obvious. So we've taken down the room that I had last year and turned it into a little bit less craft room oriented room. Not a little bit, completely. We've completely emptied it out. And I have managed to fit all of my craft supplies into the bottom of this hutch here. Almost all of them. Some are in the spare room where my office desk is and where I do all of my editing, but most of it's in here. So this is what I'm going to show you today. Okay, now on the left there, you'll see a couple of bags. I use that to bring stuff to our Monday night scrapbooking group. So it's just supplies that move frequently, so I've left them out. Once we get the house on the market though, those will get hidden away in the spare room. Okay, so let's go through the top first, just because I know whenever I watch a video like this, I want to see the other side of the door, so why not? I'll show you what's on the other side of the door. We've got some home fragrance candle stuff up there, Project Life and ribbons here. This is really the only place in the hutch that has craft supplies except for the down below section. So it's just because I had overflow and I had room here. And this is some Scentsy stuff. It's just supplies in there, and my heat gun somehow got tucked in there. The next one is family Bibles, family books and things. A Kit Kat bar from Tokyo when I was going through at some point. By the way, I'm trying to keep this steady. I think I just don't have image stabilization on this camera, so I apologize if it's moving around a lot. It's just me and my shaky hands, so sorry about that. I'm doing my best. I've got shopping list stuff, pens, keys, 2 big boxes of Lion's Mints in the spearmint flavor. Yum. Random candle. The cribbage stuff. I don't know where the cribbage board went. I think it's in the other room. But that's the box that goes with the cribbage stuff. And cotton balls for the Scentsy warmer. Next is my Cricut. So I have a Cricut Explore 1. And I would really like to spend a lot more time with my Cricut this year. So if you would like to see Cricut videos or, you know, products on my website maybe that I've designed, please let me know. I'd be happy to get into that. This is a paper crown that I made and designed a couple of years ago for, I think it was Daffodil Day here in Australia. I can put a link down in the description box if you are interested in making one. And that's just tchotchkes that need to get organized. My friend Emma made that for me a few years ago. She does a lot more vinyl stuff now. I'll put the link to her Etsy shop down below too. This needs to obviously get tidied a bit, but it's just cool little decorations that remind me of America. Oh, that is our pantry overflow. I know. Jars behind glass doors, but oh well, what are you gonna do? We're moving soon. Creamed corn, if you're wondering what stuff looks like in Australia. Jello is called jelly. If you want to see an Australian foods versus American foods video, let me know. I'm planning on starting a new channel soon, and I'd love to put some stuff like that on there because I think it's fun. There's a lot of different. As you know, I grew up in America and I live in Australia now, so there's a lot of similarities and differences that are quite interesting. And a little squirrel and some seashells. And a friend of mine collected these from, I believe it's Shark Bay, Australia, which we have some beautiful beaches here, but we won't get into that. If you want to hear more about that, let me know. I'll make another channel. Okay, so first one. All of my craft room supplies are really in this bottom section at this point. I'm hoping to have a craft room when we move, but for right now, this is where they're living. And so inside here, I've got things stacked too deep, just again because of space-wise. Most frequently used stuff in the front, less frequently used in the back. And a lot of, obviously, origami stuff, because I am planning to film quite a few videos this year for origami. And, of course, other paper crafting. So down here, we've got A4 size paper and some more origami paper. This is the scoreboard from Stampin' Up! And there's an envelope punch board there as well. Now these drawers are super boring. It's just stuff for the tabletop, birthday candles, you know, that sort of thing. And down below is crafty type supplies. I purchased these boxes to store Tim Holtz dies in. To be quite honest, it's a lot of work to get them out. So I probably, once I'm not having to shuffle things back and forth, and once I have a dedicated craft space, I will probably not be using these. But in the meantime, or if you have to use something like a hutch for storage, these are great in the fact that they're portable. So you can pull one box out at a time and not have to worry about making a total mess. I combined all of my color supplies into a couple of boxes. These are Prismacolor watercolors, and then ink refills, you know, the Faber-Castell pigment stuff, basically things that are colorful. Heidi Swap sprays from a couple of years ago, glitter, stickles, that sort of thing. It's all in one place, which means when I go to work with it, I can just bring out the whole box and then put the whole box back. I found that to be quite helpful in a space like this. Now last year I actually did a video on how to fit an entire craft room in a small space, and I'll link that below as well. But a lot of it has to do with what's important to you. You know, like what supplies are important to you, how often do you use them, what are you going to use them for, things like that. And so you can tell that paper is important to me, but also the different supplies used to create decoration on the paper as well. So there are my stamp pads, and I used to sell Stampin' Up!, so I've got quite a collection. Xyron sticker maker, different tools like that in the back. There's an alphabet sizzix set. More sizzix stuff in here, and then punches just under there. So you can see how I've got the theme going. Everything's in one place, even though it's all tight in one place, it's easily accessible. And part of the reason I was able to make it all fit is because I did a large purge. And I know that purges can be hard, but if you've only got a certain amount of space and your main goal is to fit it in that space, sometimes you have to let a few things go. Not always. If you've got a lot of space, that's a whole different thing. But sometimes you just gotta adjust. So let's see, we've got folders here and some tape, and then adhesives in the top drawer. These are great if you need a small space, because again, each drawer comes out individually. I've broken off the back so that they actually come out. They were stuck in there, but I just snapped off the pieces in the back, and then now they pull out completely. More adhesive. These are more decorative items. I've kept it to the minimum, except that I did make sure I had a little bit of every color. And just keep a little bit. And embossing powder. Love my embossing powder. So the Recollections powders are not the highest quality in the world, but if you are looking for a little bit of every color, for $4 a pop, you really can't go wrong. And Versamark is in there. And then I've got some color charts in here. I have temporarily taken apart my stamping color catalog, but again, that's about space. and that will probably change once we move, provided I have enough room. Okay, this next section is about stamps, where the first section was about paper, the next one was sizzix and cutting implements, and this is stamps. Now up here, I've got a silverware tray completely full of bits and bobs that you use all the time. And the reason for that is whenever I craft at the dining room table, I pull that out. It's got all the basics in it. I know that when I put it back, it will have all the basics in it. So it's super fast. And that's one of the things I like about a system like this, is that if you have them compartmentalized, you can do this super fast, and there isn't a lot of pickup time, and you know, everything can go right back where it lives. So of course, more stamp pads. You can see where my crafting values lie. Love my stamp pads. There's glues and gessos and things tucked in the side behind here. This is all stamp pads. And there's one more row tucked behind there, more stamp pads. More stamps in here. I believe that's more stamps as well. Yep, in there is those clear stamps that come in smaller cases, but they're all in a box. So again, I can pull the whole box out super easy. And on the top here, I've got these fishing tackle boxes. These are great. If anybody's in Australia and wants to go to Kmart to find some organizing, it's called Sport Fisher, and they just work great. I have little ones, big ones, a little bit of everything. And let's see, sequins in there and more brads. I find brads to be really great for decorating. Good basic thing to have. I have them in every color because I picked them up at Michael's when we were in the States at one point. And they were super cheap. And so for the price of one package in Australia, I managed to get like 6 different colors. So it was worth it. All right. Wood mount stamps. Now I know a lot of people like the clear stamps and have actually demounted them. I enjoy the feeling of having stamps. So I have a bit of both. And I'm okay with that. I just love it. I'm also okay with you guys demounting them too, because especially if you like the clear mounted kind, it definitely makes it easier and it doesn't take up as much space as well. That's a Stamp-A-Majig. I have a video for what that is and how it's used if you're interested. And there's your clear mount blocks. Ooh, my Versacolor cubes. I have a video of these too if you want to see all the different colors in all their glory. I've got a swatch video. And more stamps. And then in the bottom, oh look at that. That's that flower bow that I made. I have a tutorial for that too. But I made them in every color for the photo that I was doing, so apparently they're all in here now. Markers, we've got Mr. Sketch, as well as Sharpies in every color and size that you can imagine. I find Sharpies are fantastic, inexpensive alcohol markers that can be used for all sorts of things. Okay, so there you go. That is section number 3. And we've only got one left, you guys. It feels so strange to have them all behind closed doors. So I used to have it all out, and it's really odd, but I've been very happy with this setup so far. Like I said, ideally I would be in a bigger space, but sometimes you don't get to pick and choose. So this last one is my favorite, as you can probably imagine. It is my 12 by 12 paper stash, and my storage consists of, this is exactly the same as I had it in the other room, if you've seen my other craft tour videos. It is all of the cardstock single color, plain colored paper, all in rainbow order. And then at the beginning of each one, I put my scraps in one of these envelopes. And I limit the amount of scraps I'm allowed to have to the envelope. If they don't fit anymore, I need to downsize. And I have found that that has taken away the headache of what do I do with my scraps. I use them more because they're in there mixed in with my paper, but I also don't collect them anymore because I have a limit to how many I'm allowed to have. And it's a self-imposed limit, but I have found that to be very, very helpful. So if you're hoping to downsize, that's not a bad way to organize your stuff. First of all, you can see how much you've got of each color. Like for example, I won't be buying green anytime soon because I've got a lot of green here, or pink, or blue for that matter. But I could probably do it a little bit of yellow. So if I'm in the yellow shop, in a shop and I want to buy some yellow paper, I know that, okay, I probably could because I don't have very much at home. So that has been just a godsend to store it vertically. Now you can see down here that it looks like the paper's curved. And a lot of people wonder if that actually leaves a permanent curve. The answer is no, provided that you use your paper regularly. So if it sits there for a long, long, long time, it will probably end up with a crease in it. But I use my paper at least a couple times a month, usually quite more frequently than that, and I have never had a problem with the paper curving like that, or getting caught up or anything like that with the vertical storage. I've got all of these sorted just like I did before by type, or by category. So we've got old-fashioned and domestic, love, stuff like that. See the beautiful vintage patterns. Nature, so that is anything that has to do with natural stuff. Plants, animals, that sort of thing. Then red, pink, orange, and so on. That's all patterns that are mostly that color. And calendar year is holidays, seasons, things like that. Let's see. I think this needs to be reorganized because I think it's gotten moved. Oh well, I'll have to look into that. Oh, and we've also got holidays down. Maybe that's what it is. We've got holidays down here. I was wondering why the calendar year didn't have much, and I think I may have accidentally double labeled it. But that's okay. I don't have a huge amount, so it's fairly easy to find. Chipboard in the front, and then I have paper pads, which I keep in the paper pad until the project I bought it for is completed. And then once it gets down to the point where I couldn't make a whole project from it, I then separate it into individual ones and sort it into my plain paper system. I found that to be very helpful, makes it easy to find again, and just keeping down the volume to a certain space has really helped. So because this is the amount of space that I have, that's what I keep it down to. You know, everything has to fit in the space. If it doesn't, then I need to get rid of something because it just doesn't work otherwise. I hope you guys enjoyed that. This is my current craft room. Have a great day, you guys, and we'll see you back here very soon. I know I said every single week, and some things have happened in the last couple of weeks that prevented me from getting a video up, but they are coming, and I've got a huge list of videos to film in the near future. So we'll see you again soon in another video. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.